it's Madison Chase, and welcome to another episode of It's Yes or No. It's your entertainment source or news option. And again, I'm Madison Chase, and all the way in Wiggity Wick, Wisconsin is my girl Stefztv. Say hey to the people.
Word. Oh yeah, what's up? What is up?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I almost didn't want to talk about it, but Steph has been talking about this on her radio show for, you said, how many days since it happened, right?
Yeah, we talk about it every day. We do an update of what's happening, and it's interesting because me too. Like, so, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of talking about Kim Kardashian because I think that a lot of things she does aren't exactly the way that I would want to have attention. But you know, any way you slice it, her and her family are huge celebrities. They're huge names in the news. And, you know, Kim Kardashian got held up at gunpoint and robbed, and it's a big deal. And a lot of the reasons, like some of the interesting things that have stuck out to me about this is, number one, Kim's been off social media since it's happened, which is very unlike her. Number two, they have not fired the bodyguard. And usually Kanye fires everybody. So the fact that that bodyguard is still there shows me that they really trust him. Number three, Kanye came out today and said that he doesn't want Kim to do Keeping Up with the Kardashians anymore. So that's going to be interesting to see if that plays out. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm still listening. No, I'm still listening.
So I just think that, I mean, yeah, like, you know, you said earlier, there's a lot of speculation, like, she's posted pictures of this ring and this, that, and the other thing. But you know what? Like, any way you slice it, I don't feel like anyone deserves what happened to her. And I also think that it was somewhat of an inside job. The report said that it was 6 minutes they were inside. So Kim had people over. This is all the stuff that I've read and we've been talking about. As different stuff comes out, some of this might not slightly be the exact way that I read until this point, if you watch it a few days later or whatever. But pretty much, Kim was having people over. They left. Her friend Simone was there downstairs. Simone heard everything happening, locked herself in the bathroom, called the bodyguard because Kim said she's okay. And because this place is supposed to be almost like a safe house in Paris where she was, the bodyguard went out with her sisters to keep them safe. And this all happened then. So someone had to know the bodyguard wasn't there. Someone had to know it was just Kim or just Kim and a friend. You know what I mean? Like, she's not by herself a lot. Someone had to know how to get in there. Now, none of this was caught on video cameras that were at this, luxury apartment.
They got the potential robbers or the alleged robbers on camera, on video. That's what I've heard. That was a story that was trending on Yahoo.
Right, but they got that from a store across the street, not for anything in this apartment. So they don't have none of the cameras that were in this upscale luxury apartment she was staying at got it. I believe what I heard was it was
staying in a hotel was an apartment.
No, it wasn't a hotel. It was an apartment. It was like kind of like almost like a safe house. Like that's what they're referring it to as, like a safe house where no one's supposed to know. There's a back entrance that no one knows about. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely, it's definitely.
It doesn't, for me, like hearing the story, it doesn't really add up because, yeah, it possibly is I just believe that there are always consequences to our actions, and I think we give up so much of our privacy on social media. And here's an example of why you shouldn't do that. Like if you take someone like Kerry Washington, who has made the choice to not pimp her kids and not have a social media page for her kid. Like no one knows what her child looks like. So she's taken the necessary precautions to like really ensure her child's safety. Whereas somebody like Angelina and Brad, like they kind of have to live, out in the open. They have too many kids to be like, oh, let's hide all 6 of them or 5 of them. But when you're talking about someone like Kim and Kanye, like their whole, existence has been flaunting their wealth. So I've read a story that basically said, is this a consequence for flaunting your wealth and your just living this, you know, exaggerated life with the social climate and social justice and just the whole thing that's happening in this world, that, you know, maybe it happened for a reason. I'm not saying I agree with why it happened, but I feel like there are consequences, and people don't look at how much of our privacy we give up. You know, even as simple as, you know, giving your fingerprint to, you know, 24-hour fitness. Like, I'm not giving you my fingerprint. Why do you need my fingerprint? So I'm just saying, I think if we look at the bigger picture of what's happening, and we look at, you know, how much of our privacy we give up, and then you look at how they flaunted this whole, like, you know, and Obama had something to say about their lavish lifestyle. I'm not saying anyone deserves to be tortured, but I just, in my gut, I'm just like, I want to believe it, but I just feel like I don't know. It's like we have so much stuff going on in the world. But go ahead, Steph. You haven't really.
No, I'm with you, but like, and I understand that, but again, when it comes to, like, we talked about this last week when someone, you know, the infamous guy who tries to get involved with this, so like, tried to kiss her ass, you know, and it's like, yeah, there's maybe her flaunting and her living that way, like, and some random's gonna try and kiss her on the ass. That's very, very different from someone breaking into where she's staying with a gun, tying her up, gagging her, putting her in the bathtub, and her thinking she's gonna die. Very extremely different.
You know,
is one maybe a consequence?
I'm not saying that it's different. I'm just saying there are consequences for every action. Every action. And part of, I'm not saying it comes with the territory, but when people know you're going to be in certain places, like, I think we take our safety so lightly, we take our privacy so lightly that we're willing to give up information. And, you know, like, even when I'm posting something, I never post my location. I'm not nearly as famous as she is, but just wanting to be a mother and wanting to have kids, like, I'm very protective. Like, nobody knows where my mama lives. You know what I'm saying? So it is, I think we've gotten to a place, and maybe this is, you know, a warning for other celebrities who are so private and so, you know, if you look at someone like Kerry Washington, like, nobody knew she was pregnant until she got on the carpet. So you can't necessarily, it's hard to pick and choose when that lifestyle becomes a hazard to your health because of you being so willing to show, you know, where you are. You know what I'm saying? So I think this is probably, you know, a wake-up call for Kim and Kanye. And I
think it's a wake-up call for the whole Kardashian family. I think that
it's a wake-up call for celebrities in general. Yeah, in general, like, you can't be so willing to give up your privacy and location, and I'm here and I'm here and I'm here. And then when you see paparazzi, and it was funny, I was having a conversation with a friend, and they were like, yeah, pretty much anybody could be a paparazzi because everybody's got a cell phone. I'm like, yeah, I never thought about it like that. But if you're tagging your location and people know where you are at all times, and then the flip side of that is that there are some celebrities who would love to have the kind of press that she has. So they want to be recognized, and they want people to, you know, to recognize them. So you got to kind of balance your ego and your safety. Like, you got to balance those things. You know what I'm saying? Because at first my gut was like, is she doing this because they're so used to having attention and we haven't really heard anything? And, you know, she posted a whole bunch of pictures. But when you look at somebody like Selena Gomez, who's very private, she has the most followers on Instagram, and she's not posting nearly as many sexually explicit and risque pictures and personal things. Like, her thing really is about her life, and it's just kind of like, but she's not saying, oh, I'm here, I'm going here, I'm wearing this, I'm not. It's not as egocentric. Like, a lot of her stuff, you see her friends, you see her family, you see her, you know.
I mean, I understand it, and like, from the beginning, I've always felt this way about social media. Like, you look at who, like, what do you think the most famous rock band of all time? If I asked you that, who would you say? Arguably.
I would probably say the Beatles.
That's exactly what I would say. Was there social media then? No. So it's like, people can have this fame, people can have this fortune without doing this social media thing. And I'm not a fan of social media. I don't ever put up social media pictures of me and whoever I'm dating. I don't ever put up personal stuff. Like, I'll be like, hey, I'm at this festival, sweet. Hey, I'm out on the lake, sweet, after the fact. I tag, like, you know, like there's a surf shop here that I do some promotions from. So anytime I'm out on the lake, I'll tag the surf shop. So it gives them the acknowledgement. But, like, besides that, I don't ever do that. And it's like, that people think I'm crazy. Like, I get mad if people tag me on Facebook where I'm at. Like, I don't like that. And it's unnecessary. Like, this whole, like, social media is great in a way, but it is so unnecessary in so many ways.
It's so invasive, and we give up so much of our privacy just because we saw a pattern. Like, I feel like so many people want what Kim Kardashian has in the Kardashian family. Like, they want that fame, and they want to be in, oh, I'm wearing this, and I'm going to this, and they want that. But do they want this? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the consequence. So I feel like this is a wake-up call for anyone. But people don't listen. Like, we get amnesia. We'll see this, and we're like, oh, but that happened to her. Like, we get so self-absorbed and egomaniac and such egocentric driven that we think, oh, that can't happen to me. That won't happen to me. So is it going to be a wake-up call? Who knows? But
I think it is, and I think it will be more so because Kanye is involved. Now, Kanye is Kanye, and he speaks a Kanye language that I don't understand. And it just so happens he usually speaks that in front of cameras and thousands of people at award shows. And the way he is saying, this is it, I don't want you doing this, the mother of my children, my wife, like, all this is way more important. I gotta give props to Kanye. I respect the way that he's being through this whole thing. I really do.
No, I mean, I respect it. Like, I didn't even know, because I'm just kind of that person. Like, I believe in consequences. I believe in consequences. I believe that you reap what you sow. And this is kind of what they've sown. Like, these are the seeds that she's planted and living this lavish lifestyle so unapologetically, and not thinking about necessarily how is it going to influence the rest of the world? How is it going to influence young people that are coming up? Like, people want to be like her. So is this going to stop young people who might think, I don't know if I want that part. I want everything else, because we're already so narcissistic. And like, I don't post a lot of selfies. I post ussies, because I feel like it's so like, here I am doing this, and here I am doing this. And so I just, ugh.
So is what you're saying, you ain't gonna like my latest selfie when I'm eating a big piece of corn?
Right, like, you know, when I'm eating a hot dog or a popsicle, like, I feel like you can't separate the two. Like, either you want it, and I know an actor guy, the guy who is on Scandal now, and I give him so many props. Like, he didn't really start doing social media till he got on Scandal, Cordelia Smith Jr. He didn't really start doing it. I so appreciate actors like that who, like, I just want to create art. And it doesn't matter if people see it, because it's about me expressing myself as an artist versus I got to have all these fans and followers.
See, but that's the thing. I think it's different, because it's like, let's say, for example, I just posted a selfie. I am Stefztv. And a little plug there for my social media. No, kidding. No, I just posted a picture of me eating a big old piece of corn, because for me, I'm going to LA this weekend and to a music festival. I know, I'm going to the desert. I'm not actually going to LA. I'm just flying in and out of Palm Springs. But, like, I'm going out there, and literally every time I go, it's like tradition that me and my friends go eat a big piece of corn. So for me, even though it's a selfie of me, those people that know, like, it's like, if you know, you know, it makes them smile. So for me, the intention is not to be like, oh, look at me eating a big piece of corn. It's like, oh, I want to tell my friends I'm super pumped to be coming. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even though you don't have to say that every time, those intentions are felt, and like that energy goes through the social media. I know that sounds corny, but like a lot of these pictures and the energy that Kim Kardashian sometimes put out in her selfies are like, hey, look at me, I'm all sexy, rather than like, hey, dude, look, you know. And I feel like that's the energy that we're talking about that might not be the awesomest. And I think that she will. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and I'm going to think that this is going to be a big change.
Yeah, I don't, here's the thing. I don't know Kim. I've met Rob and I've met Chris, and they seem like really nice people. And no one deserves to be robbed and, fearful about losing their life and not being here for, to raise their kids. Nobody deserves that. And so maybe this might change. Like, I feel like sometimes when you look at somebody like Selena Gomez, I'm a huge fan of hers just because her lifestyle is not so in your face. Like, her social media is used appropriately, and you see that she's reaping the benefits because she has the most followers on Instagram, and she's not doing a whole bunch of sexy pictures. So
no, but I mean, let's call it how it is. A lot of her followers came because she was dating Justin Bieber.
Okay, yeah. But still, like, in order to even maintain that, and Justin Bieber is Justin Bieber too. Like, he came from YouTube. Let's call that what it is. And so YouTube has its
right,
own.
But she wasn't as big a deal as she is until she was dating him.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the other thing that really bothers me. Sometimes it's not necessarily about the woman, it's about who the woman is dating. That chaps my heart, but that's neither here nor there. Like, why is it not based off of her own merit? Like, she's super talented, she's super pretty. So yeah, that may have sparked people's interest because they're like, who is Justin Bieber dating? But she's super talented within herself, and she's from Texas. So whoop whoop, shout out to that. Yeah. And she's a Leo. Whoop whoop. Okay, so yeah, that's it. I'm done. So yeah, no, I feel sorry for Kim Kardashian, but my gut in my core, it's not a judgmental thing. It's just a law of, like, science. Like, you reap what you sow, and you've kind of, planted seeds of this lavish lifestyle that we're in, dire times. Like, people are really suffering, and I'm not saying just financially, but just the world over. There's such huge issues happening in Europe and Africa.
Well, I know, but we can go there on every topic.
No, but I'm just saying, like, when you get in this place where it's all about you and not really considering, the rest of the world, like, I know we talked about Colin, but that's a huge thing for him to do. Number one, he could lose his job, and people have, potentially said that. So when you're willing to take on the suffering of more people and think about more than just yourself, then I think those consequences and those benefits should be so much more valuable in our society, and they're not. So hopefully this is a wake-up call, and people will start using their social media for social change versus, a selfish gain.
Word.
To the mother. Thanks.
Word.
Okay, so you can follow me on YouTube, One Mad Chase, Twitter, Madison Chase Fit. And what else we got? Instagram, I think I'm Madison Chase Fitness, Pinterest. If you're on Pinterest, do people do Pinterest anymore? I don't know. Snapchat, all of those. Steph, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram and Twitter, IAMSTEFZ. That's I am Stefztv.
Oh, and also, I'm going to start doing the after show for Insecure, Issa Rae's new show on HBO. It premieres Sunday, October 9th. So you guys check that out.
Watch my girl.
Bye, Stefztv.
Bye.